Hi, this is Dr. Dan Ratner. Today I am joined by Dorisa. She is a recent pain recoverer, or she's actually in the process of recovering, but she's come a very long way, and she was very excited to share her story with all of you. If you haven't already, click subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, hit like if you like what you're hearing, and put your comments below, and we'll get back to you personally. Dorisa, welcome to the show. It's so good to see you here. I've had great interactions with you on the Facebook group, and I know that you have done very well in your recovery and worked really hard at it. So I wondered if you could tell everybody out there what it is that you experienced. When did the symptoms start and what were they?
Okay, well, I can't really pinpoint back when exactly everything started because I've had multiple issues and multiple things, but I can tell you that probably the start of everything started probably in 2003 when my mom got killed in a car accident. That shifted my whole mentality of the world is not how I thought it was. And again, after that, we just had kept on having multiple deaths of people that we knew, dying for different things suddenly and stuff like that. And then also, I had a big impact in 2011 when my husband's Japanese and the tsunami hit Japan, and half his hometown was wiped out.
Mm.
And he was talking to his parents on the phone, and they said, "We got to go, there's another earthquake." And then for 2 days we didn't know if they were okay or not, and that was really a stressful time in our life. And then after that, in 2012, I got in a car accident, which I had whiplash, and I never really believed in chiropractic thing, but I went and saw a chiropractor, but it wasn't healing, and I just gave up on him. And then in 2015, my foot started. I think it was 2015. It might have been 2014 because I was taking care of my dad who had dementia. So I was under a lot of stress with taking care of him, and that put more pressure on me. And I didn't really seek help right away for my foot. And when I finally said I can't take this anymore, and I went to the doctors, he said, "Oh, well, did you injure yourself anyway?" I go, "Well, not that I remember." And he sent me off to physical therapy. And 5 weeks later, my ankle was still swollen up. So I went back to the primary care physician, and he said, "Go to sending you to the orthopedic surgeon." And the orthopedic surgeon is, "Let's do surgery. You got to do a surgery." And I'm like, someone said, "Well, it's not so easy to heal from that as you think." So I said, "Oh, maybe not surgery for the foot." And so then I took myself to a podiatrist. I said, they do deal with feet. And he is the first doctor that really kind of listened to me. And I said, I want to kind of try to heal this, naturally if I can, with supplements and like that. And he tested my blood, and I got tested for rheumatoid arthritis. And so I went off to a rheumatoid arthritis doctor. And then my dad died, and I got really stressed out. I had to deal with, cleaning out his house and all this stuff. And I didn't go back to that rheumatoid arthritis start, and I tried to deal with the rheumatoid arthritis with supplements.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a degree of a little bit of success, but I was still in pain. And eventually I thought that because I was walking lopsided because my foot, I thought that it put pressure on my hip, on my left side. So my hip went bad. So then I finally said, I got to go to a pain management people. And I went to the pain management people, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to send you to the orthopedic people again." And they sent me to the orthopedic people for the hip. They took an x-ray and said, "Your hip socket is almost completely gone, so you have to have hip surgery."
And
So
Dorisa,
then,
I want to jump in
yes.
for a sec, because what I wanted to tell you is this story is so familiar to me, and
Mm-hmm.
it's making my foot hurt. And I do get mind body pains as things come up, and one of the ways that I get pain They really are empathy pains or sympathy pains, and you've been through so much. Okay, I just wanted to say that. Now you continue your story.
Okay, so they're all you have to have hip surgery, and then so I started the process of doing the hip thing, and that was 2019. And they're like, "Oh, you can have surgery now. You're anemic." So then I had to take care of the anemia. I had to do a colonoscopy and an endoscopy, and long and short is I finally took care of the anemia and was able to have the hip surgery, and everything was going great. The hip surgery went well, but then guess what? You're going to really empathize with this. Fear crept in. I go, well, I'm scared. I'm scared that my foot is going to start hurting because, why wouldn't it stop? Because it had been hurting for so long, and so not only did my right foot hurt now, but then first my knee hurt, but then under my left foot started hurting. So every day that I was doing better up until the end of 2019, I was doing better, but then COVID happened, and also I started stressing out that every time I stood up in the morning, it was going to hurt. And I had this vicious circle of fear, and it was just horrible. And so that's pretty much
And you still had, at this point, you hadn't discovered Sarno or any of the kind of mind body ideas. And
no.
You went through things for almost over a decade at least.
Exactly.
But longer. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I just want to highlight a couple things that I'm hearing. One is this all kind of began when your world changed.
I think so.
You had a different sense of vulnerability.
Exactly.
And I grew up with the sense of vulnerability because my father died when I was 6 weeks old. So there's the sense of vulnerability was just always there. Mm-hmm. And this story was always talked about. But I really empathize with a very different kind of story than what I had, where you actually, I think, felt a lot safer in the world, if I'm hearing correctly, until that happened. And then
I did have issues as a child because I was bullied. Back then they just called it teasing, but I was.
The excuse it is, it's just teasing. As if that's how you experienced it.
I was bullied in elementary school and in middle school, and I'm a very small person, so basically they just were, they always,
Yeah, I didn't mean to suggest you hadn't had trauma before, but more that vulnerability became one of your themes.
Exactly.
When we think about the emotions column, we have different themes in it.
Exactly.
And you got a new theme.
I had a new theme. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. A total new theme.
But that was when
this world's not a safe place.
And that's when the pain onset came?
I think that's when it started. I mean, that was very strongly emotional. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay,
I had to go on because I had a daughter, but if I didn't, I might not have been able to go on. Not only that, I lost my mom, but I lost my job. We had to move. We had all in that.
And then you were sent on this wild goose chase of body parts and body experiences that
because I really believe that I could heal it through supplements. I was spending a fortune on supplements. And because I didn't agree with the doctors, because that's the problem I had with the doctors when I went to see the rheumatoid arthritis doctor, and they're like, Western medicine is the only way to fix this type thing. And I'm going, well, that's not true. Other people have used, because basically, so my husband is Japanese, I know that there's other, Eastern medicine as well as Western medicine. So it's like, it can't be the only way.
Not only can it not be the only way, but why would we think it's the only way when it's failing so miserably?
Exactly.
At this. It's very good at some other things, but not at this. So now, Dorisa, take me to, did you discover Sarno first? What was your entrance point to mind body work?
I actually discovered Curable first. Mm-hmm. It popped up on my feed. I think it was in January of this year. And I said, at first, like I was, like it took me a week or so to decide if I should purchase it or not. I go, but at that time they were offering like a discount, and I said, well, $50. I mean, I paid for X amount of money just to see a specialist, so that's a good deal. And then that hooked me into their Facebook page, Kerbal Facebook page, and then someone mentioned you. Someone mentioned Dan Buglio. So now I listen to Dan Buglio every day, and I listen to your podcast almost every day. Because I caught up with your podcast, and now sometimes I have to wait for
Right,
it.
I remember you saying, right. So let me ask this then. I wanna hear about what was it incurable with Dan Buglio, with me? What were the elements that have gotten you better? Because I know you're doing a lot better these days.
Well, the key element was to change my thought process about the pain, and also break the cycle of fear. So instead of saying waking up every day, oh God, I got to get up, and I get out of bed, it's going to hurt when I stand up, I started changing it to, I'm safe, we're safe, I'm strong, I can do this. And also I worked on climbing the stairs, because I live on the second floor, so I couldn't even go up in the beginning of January. I barely could even go up and down the stairs without my daughter helping me. I mean, she had to nudge my legs. I got so weak. And so then I started doing the stairs. And then also I also do mind body yoga. And the mind body yoga helped me, along with you guys, to try to stay in the present, and then your constant reminder of moment to moment thinking that it's a moment, it's just this moment, okay, yes, I'm hurting now, but that's only this moment. And then say, oh yeah, and recognize the feeling or whatever. And then I realized also that I was in this fear cycle, and breaking the fear cycle was what tremendously helped me get better.
So, I hear there's a lot of elements that you took in. Do you feel that you've developed kind of a system for yourself within the various systems out there, including mine? Do you feel like you have a
Yes.
system down, or is that still a work in progress? Or
I
both?
feel like I have a system down, but I still need a few more, just a few more little things, because I mean, I still think I have a little, I mean, your doubt. I think I still have a little doubt of, will I be able to ever walk without my walker again? And I'm still trying to overcome that, because my ankle and my right leg is still not completely where I would like it to be. And then I
Right.
think I doubt that.
Okay, so actually, one thing I wanted to do here, because I sometimes think about what the viewers need, you included, anybody,
Mhm.
and one thing that I get a request for is, okay, well, how did they do it? And you've already made reference to the general, which is you had to change your mindset. You also made some specific statements about like how you talk to yourself when you wake up, how you think
Mhm.
about a certain thing. But one thing I wanted to do is to just briefly go through
Mhm.
each column with you
Okay.
and find
Okay.
out where are you with those. In the emotions column, you're supposed to have what I say 6 to 10 themes that kind of organize the basic major themes that you can look at when you're having a symptom flare up. Is that something you're utilizing? What's that like?
Um, I guess I'm probably using it a little bit, because I kind of stop and pause and say, why am I feeling, and where am I feeling this in my body, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also sometimes try to ask myself, what kind of emotion
Right.
am I
What's going on?
feeling?
Yep. So you're doing it. You're
Hmm.
doing the emotions column work. Sometimes you're doing it in your specific way. Sometimes people do it in specific to my way. Now you mentioned doubt and
Yes.
combating it.
Yes.
Do you feel like you use the doubt column, or is there a similar idea that you're utilizing to combat
Yeah, I
doubts?
think that I'm using you when I listen to you talk and stuff like that, and I listen to your people talk, the testimonies and stuff like that. And like the other day when you started that, he's not to the doubt yet, but your last interviewee, I was actually, going through and trying to fill out the emotional column as well as the doubt column with, and because he had a doubt thing, and I go, oh yeah, that fits in. And the emotional one about, like you said, the vulnerability came up, and I go, oh yeah, that's me for sure.
Right. So you're really in the process of this. I mean, you're making very good progress, but you're in the process of it. And then I was thinking about the power column, and actually that was what made me ask this question in the first place.
Okay.
I was thinking about you and the arc of you, and the fact that you were bullied. There's no teasing here. No, it's bullying. You were bullied. You had various other things happen to you, I'm sure, because you had a long life that I don't fully know about. Then you had this big change with this accident where your mom was killed. And then you went through the mind-body process that you've been dealing with for 18 years.
Yes.
And it's only been in the last year that you've gotten to this. And so I was thinking about your core narrative, which is just the story of you, essentially, as best as you can put it. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you have a good sense of who you are and what you've been through and what you need? Or is that something you're working on?
I'm still working on my identity and my core narrative, yeah.
Okay. So here's what I'm hearing, and I want you to let me know if I have this right. You've had all kinds of different emotional experiences, and then you had a lot of physical experiences that we know, you and I know, are essentially emotional experiences. They're just expressed a different way.
Manifested in my body, yes.
But you didn't know that until you had the right information.
Correct.
And you've started to get the right information, and what I can hear is it's getting better and better as you develop this, as you continue to ask the questions and get answers to each part of the equation. Does that sound like accurate?
That sounds right. Yeah. I mean, and I have to say that, a lot of, and I didn't mention the fact that I also got fatigue really easy. And so I was, a lot of times, especially when I was in so much pain draining me, I'd just be laying in bed all the time. And then I used to believe the core thing is I could not go out in the evening because I'm too tired. And last week I actually drove up to the mountains at nighttime.
Wow.
And so
big breakthroughs.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
One thing I want to highlight before we wrap up for today, I can feel a joy in you about all of this, and that is a part of what the body is trying to communicate, is how you can live your life in a more joyous way that's more aligned with you.
Yeah.
It's coming out. I can see it.
Yeah.
And I know that's part of the reason you even wanted to do this testimonial, was to tell people what you've been through and where you're at. And I'm sure it's going to give people a lot of hope, because you've been through a lot, but you're pretty joyful. You're in a pretty joyful place from what I can see.
Yes. Yeah, exactly why I wanted to do it, because I mean, since January to now, I was walking, I had to put ankle braces on every day, and I'm off the ankle braces. Been off since like March or April.
Well, I am thrilled for you, Dorisa, and you've put in a lot of work. You've thought about what you're hearing. You've integrated it, and I'm glad that I have played a positive role in that, or at least the podcast, which of course is me. And let's keep working at it. I want you to keep me posted on how you're doing, but okay. I'm really proud of you and the work that you've done, and I hope that you continue to value yourself more and more and feel good about who you are, so that you can live this good, happy, and pain-free life when it comes to chronic symptoms. So acute symptoms we're all going to get, but this is great, and I appreciate you sharing your story with us, Dorisa, and we will keep in touch.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
I love to interview people about their stories, but the thing that jumps out at me about Dorisa is she is brimming with joy. And after some of the things that she's experienced in the course of her lifetime, I can tell that that's either something that she kind of used to be like but didn't get as much playtime, or it's emerging anew. I actually have to ask her. I wish I had asked her in the interview, but either way, I can see that she is someone who has suffered pain and now is having lots and lots of joy and making lots of progress. And she's continuing her process. This is another thing I just want to say that is important, that she has not stopped her growth. I think she has stopped her search like across the galaxy, trying to find all the different aspects of things she needs to bring in, which can be kind of crazy making. She seems to have settled in on certain things and certain people, certain systems, me and Crushing Doubt being one of them. And it's leading to a calmness and a confidence. And I really look forward to seeing where it goes from here. If you haven't already, click subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, hit like if you like what you're hearing, and put your comments below and we'll get back to you personally.